while, it felt like Dirt Perfect just quietly vanished. Uploads slowed, the vibe shifted, and fans started asking the same question in comment sections and forums. What really happened? Some blamed burnout. Others hinted at behind-the-scenes issues or a serious job site incident that never made headlines. But the real story isn't about YouTube drama or failure. It's about a decision that pulled him away from the algorithm and back into real work. And once you understand what was happening off camera, the rumors fall apart fast. When Dirt Perfect stopped uploading as consistently, speculation filled the gap almost immediately. That's just how YouTube culture works. Silence gets interpreted as failure, and the longer the gap, the wilder the theories become. People started pointing to the irregular uploads and claiming he burned out. Others said the channel must have stopped making money. A few even suggested something went wrong on a job site that forced him to step away. None of it was confirmed, but that didn't slow the rumors down. The issue was expectations. Dirt Perfect didn't feel like a casual channel. The content was intense, physical, and risky. Viewers got used to seeing constant progress, massive machines, and real consequences. So when the pace changed, it felt unnatural, almost alarming. But excavation work doesn't run on content schedules. Jobs depend on permits, weather, inspections, and timing that can't be rushed.
I think today is the day we are officially going to get them all switched over, because check this out. We just got a brand new shipment of some beautiful speed binders in. Speed binders are now owned by the Crosby Group. I believe they call them torque drives, but you can Google them and find them either way. But I think this is proof that's in the pudding of how these things actually get used.
Some projects take months just to start. Others consume every waking hour once they're underway. When those windows open, filming becomes optional or impossible. From the outside, that looks like disappearing. From the inside, it's just the job taking priority. The channel wasn't slowing because something went wrong. It was slowing because something else came first, and that distinction is what most viewers missed. But the confusion didn't stop there. It was made even worse by a misunderstanding that still floats around online. One of the strangest reasons the Dirt Perfect mystery lasted so long is simple confusion. A surprising number of people didn't actually know who Dirt Perfect was. Online, you'll still see posts claiming his name was Aaron. Others said Aaron ran the channel and vanished. That misunderstanding alone kept speculation alive for years. Here's the reality. Dirt Perfect is Mike Simon. Aaron was involved behind the scenes, helping with filming and logistics, but he wasn't the face or owner of the channel. When uploads slowed or styles shifted, people assumed Aaron left, which somehow turned into Dirt Perfect disappeared. That identity mix-up made every change feel suspicious. Different camera work? Must be new management? Longer gaps? Someone quit? Less on-screen energy? Something must be wrong. In reality, Mike was still doing exactly what he'd always done, running an excavation business first and filming when it made sense. The channel didn't change ownership. It didn't collapse. It just adjusted around real-life demands. Unlike most creators, Mike never built Dirt Perfect around YouTube alone. The channel grew alongside his work, not instead of it. That meant YouTube was flexible. The job wasn't. And once viewers misunderstood who was actually in control, every slowdown felt dramatic. But the real turning point didn't come from online confusion. It came from a quiet decision Mike made years earlier that reshaped everything. In 2018, Mike made a move that explains nearly everything that followed. He scaled back on purpose. At the time, he was juggling multiple businesses, non-stop stress, and rapid growth. From the outside, it looked like success. From the inside, it was exhausting. So instead of pushing harder, he simplified. He shut down extra operations and focused on excavation, the work he actually cared about. That choice brought stability, but it also changed the channel. Less chaos meant fewer dramatic uploads, fewer machines running at once, less constant filming, and for YouTube, that looks like decline. But in real life, it was control. Mike never wanted a massive company with endless employees and constant problems. At times, he ran with no full-time crew at all, bringing people in only when needed. That lean setup meant every job depended on him being present. When work needed attention, filming became secondary. This is where viewers misread the situation. Fewer videos didn't mean things were falling apart. It meant things were finally manageable. Dirt Perfect wasn't chasing growth anymore. It was protecting balance. And once that shift happened, the channel stopped trying to compete with the algorithm. But to really understand why YouTube was never the priority, you have to understand the job itself. Excavation isn't content creation with dirt on it. It's dangerous, unpredictable, and physically demanding. Heavy equipment doesn't care about cameras. One mistake can cost thousands, or worse. Mike has been clear that social media brings visibility, not stability. Views don't replace contracts. Sponsors don't replace long-term customers. Real income comes from referrals, repeat work, and projects booked months or even years in advance. When those projects start, everything else pauses. Filming slows the job down. Editing eats into already long days. And when safety is on the line, the camera is the first thing to go. That's why Dirt Perfect uploads never followed trends. The channel existed when work allowed it. And when it didn't, silence wasn't drama. It was focus. Over time, the content became more selective, less constant, more intentional. That wasn't decline, that was experience. People forget that every video represents hours of labor before the camera even turns on, and eventually you have to decide what matters more, capturing the moment or finishing the work right. For Mike, the answer was always clear. The job came first. But there's one deeper reason the channel exists at all, something rarely discussed, yet crucial to understanding everything. Long before Dirt Perfect existed, Mike experienced a loss that shaped how he views work and legacy. In 2002, his father passed away following a job-related accident. It's something he doesn't spotlight often, but it quietly explains the heart behind the channel. Dirt Perfect was never about attention. It was about documenting a life built around real work, showing how things get done, preserving moments that would otherwise disappear. That's why the channel never leaned into fake drama. The risks were already real. The stakes didn't need exaggeration. The work spoke for itself. This also explains why Mike never chased the algorithm. Clickbait fades. Trends expire. But honest documentation lasts. The channel feels different because it is different. It wasn't created to build an online persona. It was created to capture reality when possible. And that's why uploads come and go. Life dictates the schedule, not views. Which leads to the final misunderstanding. What? People think Dirt Perfect should be versus what it was always meant to represent. Many viewers assume Dirt Perfect was supposed to evolve into a full-time creator brand. Bigger edits, louder thumbnails, constant uploads. When that didn't happen, they assumed something went wrong. But nothing broke. Mike simply refused to reshape his life around YouTube. He stayed rooted in his industry. The work continued. The reputation stayed intact. The channel just stopped performing. This is what throws people off. On YouTube, success looks loud. Dirt Perfect chose quiet success instead. He's still active, still respected, still involved in industry conversations, events, and collaborations. He just isn't chasing visibility anymore. And that choice feels confusing in a space built on constant presence. But stepping back didn't erase the channel's impact. If anything, it preserved it. Which brings us to the part most people overlook entirely. Dirt Perfect never followed the playbook. No forced drama, no fake urgency, no pretending every job was a crisis. That honesty built trust, but it also limited how far the channel could be pushed without changing its core. Most creators adapt to survive. Mike didn't. He knew views don't replace steady work. Trends don't build long-term stability. So instead of chasing numbers, he chose consistency in real life. That decision confused viewers. People expect escalation. Dirt Perfect chose restraint, and ironically, that's what made it memorable. Dirt Perfect wasn't just entertainment, it became a reference point. For operators, for contractors, for people who'd never see this world otherwise. The content ages differently because it isn't trend-based. It documents reality, and reality doesn't expire. The legacy isn't constant uploads, it's credibility. Mike proved you can step back without burning everything down. You don't need a scandal or collapse to slow down. You can just choose a different pace. And that quiet decision matters more than people realize. What really happened to Dirt Perfect isn't dramatic, but it's rare. Mike Simon chose reality over relevance, work over noise, stability over endless growth. The channel didn't slow because it failed. It slowed because it stayed honest. And once you understand that, the mystery disappears. What's left isn't a vanished creator, but proof that not everything valuable needs to chase attention to matter.